All right, guys. Well, after an absolute scuffed beginning of a stream, we actually had a pretty good pre-show, eh, Kylo? It was
I'd say
going
so.
according to plan, and then my PC said, no, we don't do according to plan. We're going to make this crash, and that's exactly what happened. So we bring back the game. Consulate is the first map, and the uppermost floor is going to be the first venue. So Kylo, we were talking about the predictions before you crashed, or before I crashed, actually. So what do you think is going to happen on this first map? Who do you think has what it takes to take this home?
Always, every time NuTorious is going to take it from me, since they're the season champs. I always have to hold them to a high regard. You don't get to a season champs just, out of nowhere. You've earned that title. You've earned the ability to have the, the concept of where we're always going to choose you over the other team. That being said, though, I do think ZoKORP will try to at least put a fight back, but I think NuTorious, this would be a perfect time for them to say, hey, we've been here several times. We know how this goes. We've been this, we are made for this. We're going to take this first map, we're going to take over it and show y'all exactly who we are.
I actually casted the whole playoffs of the first season. And funny enough that you say they fought to be here, I'm pretty sure the final game, the first round, we saw NuTorious play full attack, and Good was outside with a Mira in spawn against the attackers. The attackers didn't act until the last 30 seconds of the round. So let's say they got there in a funny capacity. But looks like ZoKORP want to change the narrative. They don't want NuTorious to go to the finals, so they'll open up with first blood, take care of the floor, and it'll all slow down because these attackers cannot afford to lose another body.
Yeah, no, and I mean, the good thing of it is as well that you have them on defense. With Wamai going down, that's kind of a tough one, depending on if he's already set up quite a bit, but going early into the round, you don't have a lot of utility with Wamai yet. So this could be a problem for him, but that Tachanka is going to be a real good little piece of defense that, can slow down quite a bit, especially a plant.
Tachanka just hurrying around the Rosie Industry Reinforcement, really testing his luck here. Now, having that hollow at this range, you get shut out almost instantly if you peek the wrong person with an ACOG on their gun. Doesn't seem like anybody will be occupying bending, so the attackers are gifted a little bit of luck, but it looks like, as I say that, Caster's Curse kind of hits and an operator defender decides to rotate into the area of vending. Falls off long office, but still has the general area, and the support of Genesis no longer, as Ash gets one. Jero follows it up by finding the second in a 4v2 here, as NuTorious look like they have their foot on the gas, slowed down by Spy, but still, they have the man advantage, and it'll continue to improve as Ash gets the next onto Daggers, and you find Spy all by his lonesome, losing a good amount of HP and with 3 toxic babes. Now, the plant is going down, but can you swing out and try to deny it without getting your head chopped off? The answer is yes, as he will successfully deny that plant, but instantly shot in the face by Jero when he gets too carried away. Beautiful first round as NuTorious claimed that first, and ZoKORP, it's not looking too bad.
No, not at all. I think they really have a good shot right there. This is what I wanted to see from NuTorious. I wanted him to come in, really make a statement, and I think they did. Now, was it the best case scenario? No, because I think with the Wamai going down, they kind of hindered their process a little bit more. Changing it out for the Jaeger, as what we can see, it's probably gonna be the smarter play. You can sit and forget a little bit more, as opposed to Wamai, you're actively, throwing them out as they come, as they charge up, and so that can always cause a problem. I'm excited now to see how ZoKORP is going to handle this, knowing that NuTorious is a little bit more aggressive on their push now. They saw the Blackbeard, they're going to try to prepare for it as much as they can, so they can try to get everything going.
Now, I can never get over the amount of banter we get from NuTorious every single time. Now, Jugarku's my favorite personally because he's Canadian, I'm Canadian. I just think the worst thing about being Canadian is maybe being spawned in on the Quebec side of things. Imagine being French Canadian, Kylo. I couldn't, thank God. I'm from Drakeland and Drakeland only. But Jugarku, I might be seeing him soon at the upcoming LAN that's being hosted by Shopify Rebellion. And I'm excited, because if he wins this, he'll get a high five. If he loses this, he'll get a neck. But still, the only thing that matters is they got the first round, and he was the one to find that kill that put them back up at level for the 4-all. But as of now, the main thing they need to be concerned about is how they maintain the lead and how they keep their foot on the gas. It's an issue when teams get carried away with their lead and just completely destroy it by playing aggressive and not doing the right things. But it looks like NuTorious is going to destroy that narrative as Yabba Dabba Doo gets first blood, and that is going to be a mouthful in the later stages of this stage. Oh, wow, what a shot.
Recognize the name. All right, so it's a great name. Listen, I'm old school. Y'all know me. I walk around with a cane because I'm so old now. It's nice to see an old school reference to the Flint stuff. Now, that being said, though, looking at how they're playing it right now, it's a constant back and forth. But I think the thing that I'm seeing right now with ZoKORP looks a little too antsy for their defense. You do want presence there, but you shouldn't be necessarily trying to fight for the kill. You're trying to fight for the time. That's your winning situation right now. You don't have to necessarily plant like the attacking team does. Let them attack and do.
Oh my god!
Unfortunate.
I mean, Dagger's just going crazy, but Yabba Dabba Doo's already gotten his piece of the pie. 1 kill, 1 down, and he's already found that gap to hit, and he's allowed the attackers to advance on that. He's bridged that gap in between the site and the amount of defense utility. Good. Has 2 kills waiting for him, but Arizona hurdles the rotate and hurdles over Good as he's forced now Jero into a 1vx situation. Now, the essential parts here of a clutch is you want to be able to isolate them into 3 separate ones. But it looks like you were able to do that for the first stage, but Frost is ready and is ready to take your head off, as that is a round in response by ZoKORP to tie it up with NuTorious.
You know what I liked about ZoKORP on that one? As much as I was saying that they're being a little anti, they managed to stalemate them for a second. NuTorious had the ability to push forward. Once the blitz went down, they stopped. They stagnated. They could have actually kept pushing forward with them. They had 1 down. They probably didn't know it. Well, blitz probably called out that 1 of them were down. So, I mean, you know for a fact at this point, you're looking at that time a 2v2. You should have really pushed that, and you really should have made sure that you had a good opportunity to capitalize on it. And it looked like they didn't. It pretty much staggered them for a second because I don't think Blitz was aware that someone was in a spot where he could have got shot from. So it's going to be interesting now how they play it going forward. They really have an opportunity to push NuTorious on their back foot, but I still think that they're playing a little too aggressive in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, with the way that ZoKORP was playing on that round, you saw how they were extended out into server, but it had no material. I mean, Yabba Dabba Doo, I still can't get over that name, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a great name. That's a great name. I'm here for the name.
I mean, Yabba Dabba Doo, he was in, and he managed to isolate each and every one of the roamers. One of them was sitting in the depths of server, and the other one was sitting a little bit more in that restricted hallway area. He was able to single them out and move towards the site without losing too much HP. You guys need to be able to come together as a cohesive unit and cast a net on the areas that you want to hold. That way you can use your utility, and you can force the attackers to burn through that utility before they have to come up against you using their ones.
Exactly. That being said, moving into this round, I'm really going to be excited to see how they're going to handle this. It looks like they changed the lineup. I want to say a tad bit. I believe they didn't have the Rooney last time. So we're going to see exactly how they're going to play it, but you know, Fenrir, Tachanka, the same lineup essentially all the way across the board here. In this regards, ZoKORP needs to slow it down. Make them come to you. You have a utility for a reason. Make them burn their utility to take you onto essentially a better fight, because certain utility doesn't get taken over. We know there's no Brava. We know there's nothing's going to be taken. So now you can take this fight pretty much straightforward and win this one. You have the ability. They do know where Azami's at, but you know, she moved out the way. Not Azami. I'm sorry, Aruni is at.
Hey man, it's all good. I can't say anything. You're my boss. I'll get fired if I say it.
Oh my god.
Yabba Dabba Doo, foot on the gas. The Toxic Babe plus the fire kind of separates Good and Yabba Dabba Doo, and Good will be picked off because he's stuck. He can't go back, he can't go forwards, and that's an easy pick off here by Genesis. Jero tries to attract that attention from those admin steps, but gets hit by the F-Naught and gets shot at the same time, but it looks like it's just all systems go here for NuTorious as they manage to get a refrag, but they're quickly traded out. Yabba Dabba Doo, it doesn't work out for you this time as you're shut out as well, and it's the second 1vx here for Jero's now. He has to be able to try and isolate 4 separate 1v1s. This is going to be very interesting because he has plenty of time. He has the weapons, he has the utility, and he has that logic bomb to find each and every one of these defenders. But again, with each and one of these defenders trying to get their piece of the pie, they're going to be parked out or very aggressive. And it looks like he had to deal with the DMR first and couldn't get past that first roadblock, meaning ZoKORP will get that next round.
Yeah, that's what you wanted to see. I think that's what you want to see from ZoKORP. ZoKORP managed to make them slow down. It made them chill. It made them have to handle what was in front of them. And just doing that was a completely different round than that first round. They made sure that they had all control over that. And I love seeing that from ZoKORP. ZoKORP has the ability to just really push someone back. They didn't take out pack runners out of nowhere. They definitely know what they're doing. They just need to maintain it, not get antsy, not get too crazy. Looking at this lineup, you know, you really want to know what the concept will be. From what I'm looking at it right now, this is an intel all day, every day. You got your Renegates to hear the sounds. The castle stops them. Your Valkyrie will give you the intel as well. Obviously, if they go to a bandit wall, they have to do something about it. And of course, Tachanka is just the presence. You get exactly what you want from the side of ZoKORP when it comes to defending, especially with library. This is where you want to really have the intel, but this is the time where you can get aggressive. This is the site right here where you take the aggression and you can capitalize off. I'm going to be... Go ahead.
Yes? Kylo,
No.
you know what the great part about this not being a sanctioned stream? Not partnered, not affiliated. You know what the great part of this is? We can do whatever we want, except for swear excessively, obviously, because I like that mentality. But, you know, the first thing that raises to my mind is you should become a caster. You're great at color casting. No, yes, you are. Great at color casting.
No.
The second thing is the chat. Huh. Somebody's saying if we don't biasedly cast NuTorious, wait, what? Hello? Arizona? Arizona's headset is in Illinois because, I don't know, he's forgotten anything regarding utility. Good, finished off by that C4. Finka fills in that gap, but it's still a 4-on-4. Finka apparently has also left the headset at home. Hello?
Well,
you heard this?
Is Finka. I will say
true. She just used her search, though.
Oh, she just used her search? Oh, it's, yeah. GG's good night. You're out.
There you go, but I mean, they cleared that man out the corner. As long as Yabba Dabba Doo can plug this hole and keep the defenders at bay in this certain corner, they can get that Finka back up, which is exactly what they're going to do. She uses her surge. But as they trade, as these defenders pile up in that hallway, two of them will eventually fall, meaning we're going to find ourselves in a 1vx situation. But this time, it's against ZoKORP. The plan goes down successfully. There's a surge still regenerating, meaning it is a time game for the attackers. This singular defender has now become the attacker. He needs to be able to isolate each and every one. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Spicy finds the first. It knows exactly where the second is. The default camera is shot. He doesn't have any default utility. And the fact is that wall is soft, meaning Ashes doesn't have to swing too far out to be able to thread that needle, especially with that ACOG on that weapon. Now, with the counter defuse time in factor, that's 7 seconds that Spicy's going to have to account for. So you're either going to go run at him right now, which is exactly what you're going to do, or put yourself on that case. Shotgun can't be pulled fast enough, and that is NuTorious for the next.
You know, the interesting part about this is NuTorious did have a chance to lose this. Their players both had less than almost 10 health. Yeah. You really could have lost this. I think what they should have done, this is just me, my brain looks a little different. If there was a castle barricade anywhere, take it down, rip it down, place it over that, you have a free
Wow, that's like the 90s strategies.
Hey, you got to go old school sometimes. In a situation like that, he had the ability to do it. He was playing so far off that if he would have ripped down another castle and placed it over that door, he has to rotate. That wall is banded and fully reinforced. You have to rotate out into the hallway just to get the angle. So it worked really. It would have worked in that scenario. Now, not to say that it's something that you should use. Obviously, like you said, it's a 90s strat. I'm old school. Back when we used to castle everything in. Used to be castled in with the bomb. You know, back when we used to fuse the hostage.
Yeah, back in the 80s there, I said.
Yeah, I was riding dinosaurs when I was here, right? That's how we do it.
Playing Siege on that Atari controller, eh?
Of course.
I mean, the main thing that we got so briefly cut off by before we saw that absolute hellish round unfold was the chat. Up the nut. Pause. Just pause. Someone wants to mind control me to biased casting in the favor of NuTorious. I love either side. I mean, I haven't casted ZoKORP. I won't lie to you guys. I have casted NuTorious. I love everybody. It's always fun. But it's interesting from Will. You know, it's interesting from the chat here. But honestly, it's what makes this so fun. But still,
Listen, I'm a fan of NuTorious. But NuTorious better get their stuff together.
exactly. That is you couldn't have said it better. And it looks like Yabba Dabba Doo is going to get his stuff together as he is going to act like a plug in a leaky faucet, as he is going to prevent anybody from shooting through that window and getting lucky with a wall bang. Will fall off of that though as the rest of his team advances in through electrical. One man is plugged out in the secret hall here and the other is waiting on the coffee machine looking to get his chunk of the pie. There's a gas pipe sitting right next to the smoke, so he could discourage his play by popping it. But in the meantime, Genesis takes care of Ashes and is now going to rotate while he has all of this free space to use. There's no rotate at the top of the stairs, meaning the attackers are going to have to funnel in to this area of Visa. Now, having this punch hole may play into the favor of the Jaeger, but still, there's so many factors that we have to account for, and that is the attackers establishing the flank watch, establishing verticality, while ZoKORP just takes a good amount of real estate here and waits for one of these defenders to make the mistake, like they just did, as he capitalizes and refrags out Arizona a minute later.
Listen, that right there was unfortunate. I think the problem here is they have the ability now to, oh no, you missed that opportunity.
He's so aggressive. He's so aggressive. I love it.
Yeah. He missed the opportunity. I think he could have really took out the bandit, the blitz, without actually having to sacrifice his life. He had him. Unfortunately, it just timing really got him off guard. But this is a good opportunity right here. This is where I think the time where you get aggressive is with that Mav. When the Mav is doing stuff like this is the time to do it. I would have ran up to it, laid down, and took out 2 feet if I could have. But that's just me. Again, I play differently. I play completely different.
Maybe why we stick to the talent broadcast side and not the actual player side. But
I don't have a controller anymore for a reason. I don't have a controller. I don't really... Exactly.
They're always magically sold out of controllers when you go in to buy them, eh?
Oh yeah, all day, every day. Listen, that's just how it has to go. They have to keep me off of it because I'm a huge.
Wait,
no.
Oh my God, Dagger!
What?
Dagger just executed their whole team. I mean, what I was gonna say is ZoKORP is running out of so much critical utility. You saw Spicy burn through those toxic babes like absolutely nothing in the earlier stages of the round, but it looks like a DMR and an SMG-11 is enough to do the job. What just happened?
The problem that happened there was a funnel. They all decided to go through 1 door or 2 doors, and that's just not how it's going to work. You have to be able to spread it out. If somebody was somebody was still alive, they could have started the flank, and it would have, disrupted that push, that defense in the favor of NuTorious. But that just didn't happen that way. They walked right through both holes and essentially lost that one altogether.
Agreed. If you guys didn't know, yesterday there was a Ubisoft patch where we got some reworks. Solus is now returning to her old self, where she will have impacts yet again. Her IO scanner has an extended range and will regenerate faster. No, she can't be used again in the prep phase, but still the right step in the right direction. So I'm surprised I haven't seen it for ZoKORP. I did see it earlier today in the EU side of things. But again, another operator that you're going to see is Jaeger. He now has Clash's P10C, and Bandit now has the Karatos revolver. So many different changes, many different things to account, because that means a lot of operators can do different things with their utilities. Bandit can now soft destruct any wall and make it easier for him to hear where the charges, whether it's a Selma or an exothermic, where they're going down specifically, so he's easier and he'll be able to trick them even better. But it looks like to be able to hear things better, you need to be alive, and Jero hasn't met that standard yet, as the spear entry for NuTorious has been completely taken care of within the first 30 seconds of the round.
The interesting part about that pick right there, that was the pick they needed. If you look at their lineup, Jaeger, Romai, they are set to stop anything that's going to go past, any throwable, anything shot. So the ash charges being taken out also does help. So that means they're just left down to essentially 4 grenades that can be thrown. Outside of the ace, also the ace charges. But having the ability to not worry about those ace charges, not worry about any flashes if she had them, you're now looking at a good spot where pretty much anything that gets thrown is going to get caught. Jaeger device comes back up, it's going to, take it again anyway. Well, Maya can slow it down. You're now in a good spot in regards to being able to defend. They still got everything else in front of it too. Smokes, the
What
Rooney
the
gates.
hell?
Oh, right
Oh
into
my
the,
God!
Oh my God! Ignore what I said. They said, yeah, screw that.
I mean, he's in sight. Good night apparently lives up to the name. Yabba Dabba Doo, the greatest name of all time, gets the final kill, gets the spear that finds the first two. Kylo, I feel like we have to look at that again. I mean, he's just in bathroom. He's always ready. He's just there to capitalize upon any opportunity whatsoever, and it works out in his favor. What a shot that is. He's able to do whatever he likes, and that is the exact reason they won that round. I mean, Goodnight was the one who eventually cut it out, but wow, Yabba with a triple. That's the NuTorious that I remember, but with different players, of course.
Very interesting too, because that shows right then and there ZoKORP had a weakness that they were not paying attention to. They easily could have just, I mean, for him to get in, jump in, take out two people before he ever even gets known is there, he went in so quick, knocked off pretty much the entire team before anything could even be, I want to say, relayed to the rest of the team. They were already dead.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the ability to praise Yabba is how he finds the gap and hits it. He did it on Blitz. He did it on Lion. He's consistently able to sniff out the mistakes from ZoKORP's holds and attack it. But I also want to give credit where credit is due. Spicy's out fragging him by 2 kills, has less deaths, and has been able to be that consistent player who can play anything. He can play smoke. He can play whatever the hell he wants, and he is still that player who will be consistent. But as the side switch, Kylo, it's all evened out here. And now ZoKORP have the lower end because NuTorious are now given the defensive.
Honestly, that was ZoKORP's opportunity to really put a good spot on it. Going 3-3 in that half is not what you want to see. NuTorious has, like you said, a good spot right now. They're in that great spot. It's 0-0, and you're on your defense, essentially. All you have to do now...
NuTorious is big, too, by the way.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want. Back in the day, you know, back when I was riding down the source, I used to be a coach. And the number one thing that I used to say... Oh, no. The number one thing that I used to say is just that if we're going to choose our map, go to defense last. Defense, especially particularly on the defender-sided map such as this one, you can control a lot more of the entire scenario. They're pushing behind the Monty. I mean, it's a lovely strat, but it can easily be countered if you are not focusing on the Monty. Depending on your aggression, could also be the same exact way on this. So it's going to be a very interesting thing. When you're coaching, you look at it like, hey man, have them fight them on their attack, because defense, we have it in the bag. We know we got defense. Take them on their attack, push them off. 3-3, 4-2 is always what you're aiming for. That's exactly what they did.
It looks like they also just have their foot on the gas, sending anything they want to. Glaz is wedging himself. He is creating a gap in between rotations between the A and B chassis, isolating the defenders that reside in the hallway between secretary and offices, and it's going to work out perfectly. Daggers is doing damage, but gets a little too greedy, hops in the bathroom and gets traded out. But in the meantime, it looks like NuTorious are getting their hands dirty. Yes, they suffered the first 3 casualties, but they'll get 2 in response. 2 players now will occupy this console room. They have to be careful with the way they're playing. Yabba gets caught off guard, and now it's all go for the team of ZoKORP. They have 2 shield ops plus a spear. They're ready. This was the most successful rush that we have been seeing today. I mean, they managed to get rid of the players who were in the A chassis. They got in that player who drives in a gap, and from there, they isolated and picked off 1 by 1. That's exactly how you attack a consulate upstairs site.
Now, I normally wouldn't do this in production. NuTorious, what the hell?
Oh my God, he's sworn. Banish him.
This is one of those situations where I look at them like, what are you doing? This is a Monty and a Blackbeard. This is not Blitz. Your aggression against them is pivotal. If you don't have your aggression up and ready to fight those 2 shields, if it's Blitz, obviously you can get blinded. You can lose that fight. Monty can't do anything with shield down. Blackbeard essentially needs to drop the shield, the window, just to shoot you. Get aggressive against them. but you can't just sit down and just let them walk up on you with a guy behind them. Ignore them, focus on the things you need to focus on. Get some other type of utility. You need throwables. Obviously the Tachanka is the smart play to go at this situation, but that's what you need. You need a smoke. You need this as well. You cannot just let them just push on you like that, and there's no counter. They were able to walk up yellow stairs, walk in. That felt ranked to me. That should not have happened. Rant over.
Give him the give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe some people are watching Element on their side screens right now. Yeah, Rennie, I'm talking to you. Rennie is our observer for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a W in chat for Rennie. This wouldn't have happened without her, because let's be honest, back in the day I used to do everything solo, and I am too lazy to solo observe now because I just don't want to. But W ready, even though she's watching Wanted Tunes right now. If there's anything to ever mental chalk, you just watch your, ladies and gentlemen. But focusing more on the venue and the teams of this game, it looks like you're going to see ZoKORP try to replicate a little bit of something related to last round. This time they're going to use the Aurora, but they'll have a C4 on the front doorstep. I don't know if that's Ashes or LeBron, as he'll isolate that Monty temporarily. It looks like ZoKORP wants to follow it up with another C4, but Barry has rushed to the rescue of this Monty, not allowing him to be isolated. Now, he's been a little bit of a slower spear, not your traditional, but has his C4 on his head and somehow manages to dodge it. But in the meantime, Arizona finds a kill of his own, taking care of Jero, and now we find ourselves in a situation where, again, it's slowly deteriorating for NuTorious. It's all evened out here, but still, with the amount of grasp they have on the site and the grasp that they are losing, I wouldn't be crazy to say that this is going to be a very one-sided round if they can't get a kill that goes in NuTorious's favor soon. Yeah, see?
Tachanka, what were you doing? This was your opportunity here. Fire them off. Turn around, turn your back. You have someone at the door. That is a beautiful shot right there.
My
that
favorite
was a beautiful
Canadian.
Shot.
My favorite Canadian.
There you go. Oh, there you go. I was about to say, if you lost that, I would have been really mad.
Oh my God.
Joker, I can never say his name properly. Joker. I'm calling him Joker from this point on.
Jugar.
Okay. Love the chat. I love the chat.
I'm telling you, bro, the Banter never ceases to amaze. Jugarku with a, what was that, a triple or a quad?
I think that was a triple. Particularly at that end. I know it was a double, but I think he actually took out a triple.
Oh, the Ash. Well. It was Ash. It was Ash previously. Yeah, beautiful. I'm just going to say, from downtown Ashes, that guy was looking like Steph in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Truthfully, this is really starting to be a very even match when I don't believe it should have been. NuTorious, I really thought you were going to do a little bit more than that. Yeah, I know y'all are in the chat. Hate me if you want to, but y'all gotta step this up. This looks like, for me, a
You've gone and done it. You've gone and done it. William's gonna pull up to your... No, that's an airstrike coming to your house right now, man. You've messed with the NuTorious fandom.
Listen, Will, I love your team. If anyone could tell you, during our season, I was rooting for them heavily. Do not shortchange this. You guys have it, but they're just too sporadic. It doesn't look like enough team unison from what I've seen. It looks like it's a, hey, let's just push them and go. Let's fight and go. I've seen y'all work magic, and I've seen y'all not work magic. You have to be willing to get down into the nitty-gritty and shut this down. This should have been shut down. If you have the ability to take them out, take them out. Don't play with your food, because sometimes you'll choke on it. Okay, there's a problem. Oh my God, the jokes that I can make.
You're so old.
I have to catch myself.
You're so old.
So old.
It's like talking to a reflection of a grandpa. But, well, Arizona almost falling there might have been the funniest pick we would have seen, because that is your only hard breacher on the board. And luckily, lives to see another day, but at this HP, you really have to be careful, because when you go for that main breach, these defenders are not forgiving with the C4 tosses, especially when they have them in abundance. 4 total on the board, and I don't think they're going to be scared to use them. One of them, though, Jugarku, is going to be moving up the yellow stairs, looking to catch one of the players off guard. One of them is currently on a drone, and the other one is moving towards Spyro. Jero has to be careful. There's 2 players directly above him. One of them wants to establish verticality. The other wants to push him down Spyro and discourage any form of a flank. these attackers don't have a good luck. No Nomad, which means they really have to keep their head on a swivel, and that's exactly what they're going to do. But you guys haven't accounted for one thing. The Canadian Sun Tzu is on the board.
Correct. And I mean, the beautiful part about this right now is that it's still essentially in NuTorious's favor. You have the ability to slow down quite a bit of this push still, because you still have your Ella. As long as Brava hasn't taken it, you have the ability. Those shotguns are completely dangerous, especially close range, just like that. And unfortunately, I don't know how he actually lost that one. He should have won that, in my opinion. But it does happen. That's Siege for you. Sometimes you can hit, sometimes you can miss. Had to catch yourself. Sorry.
Thank God. The AR-15 delivers that final refrag below, meaning Joker gets traded up for daggers here. I mean, having that Bravo would have contributed to getting rid of these Grismont mines, but no longer it's going to be if, buts, and maybes, and we don't get to see that. The plant looking to go down. Yabba Dabba Doo, the only one with a C4 ability, looking to deny it, but it looks like Goodnight really wants to get aggressive and help his team out, relieve that pressure from Yellow, but that plant will go down even if there's a player from ZoKORP getting traded out. A 2-to-3 man count, verticality established, and the attackers backing off the breach allows them to completely sit back and relax. That's exactly what they're going to do. You force the defenders to become the attackers for the remainder of that post-plant scenario, and that is easy picks if you guys know how to sit out in a corner and wait for them to come to you one by one.
ZoKORP, I was not familiar with your game. You are 1000%.
They beat Pack Runners, man. I knew this was going to be a close game.
Listen, I was not familiar with your game, ZoKORP. You have managed to take something and just flip it on its head. You can clearly tell that ZoKORP was prepared for this moment. They were prepared for how NuTorious plays. They did their research, and you can easily tell. This has not been just only a back and forth. It's been more on ZoKORP's side more times than not. There's times where, of course, NuTorious had the luxury of Yabba Dabba Doo, but even in that round where Yabba Dabba Doo won, ZoKORP was actually winning that. He just was able to find the weakness in it and attack. ZoKORP, you guys are really pushing the limit on how well NuTorious is able to control the situation. Whether they were on attack or defense, this is a very defender-sided. They don't have to be aggressive. They don't need to be. This is an opportunity for y'all to showcase that, hey, you know what? We don't care about them. Just take them out. Chop them off if you need to. Drop them off at the kiddie pool, because that's exactly where they're going to be at if they do not get it together.
I can't. Where do you come up with this stuff? You're like an encyclopedia for old jokes. Oh, God. The accusations. Yeah, the accusations of you being uncle never stop, my friend.
I listen, I have completely and honestly accepted that.
I mean, it's 100%. Funny. This might be top 3 casts in the last 4 months for me. I usually don't. I usually take my casting seriously, but again, sometimes fun is warranted.
This is one of those times.
This is one of those times, considering you're cracking out unk jokes like you're 70 and talking about the 60s. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Listen,
whatever.
back in my day, all right.
Oh God. The basement is going to be the next push. But we've seen what happens here when you push from that server side. One team tried it. One team tried to funnel, and that failed horribly. Now, it looks like NuTorious is going to be the ones to try it next, and it looks like they're going to continue down that pathway, being able to defend it perfectly. They'll take care of the first body. Genesis goes down, but not out. Give it a second chance at life here. But rezzed, and now it looks like NuTorious are going to go crazy with a Call of Duty level flank here. It's Jagarku and Goodnight, but they're gonna flee frantically after they see the Osa and the Blackbeard.
Yeah, oh no, that is not what you wanted to see there. And there we go. They are falling like flies. That C4 is a good save, but it is not looking well for NuTorious. You really have to admire that ZoKORP is just saying, you know what? Yeah, y'all are done here. We have your number. And there you go. Your aggression against Blackbeard is the only thing that's going to save you.
I thought he was going to TK, but it's actually Yabba Dabba Doo to come to the day alongside with Jagarku to get 1 and 2. Jagarku following it up with another, but not before Barry gets a refrag, and Dagger delivers the final dagger to the heart of the NuTorious defense. It's just ZoKORP domination on their own map. But now, sadly, we see a tech pause, as he says so nonchalantly before he leaves the game, and NuTorious are trailing by 2 rounds. This is their last before they are given the ability to go to the next. Otherwise, Kylo, we might be looking at a very big upset here.
A very one. Honestly, listen, I normally don't do this, but I am switching my I'm switching my choice now.
You can't just
You
you can't just watch the first one and say, yeah, I'm feeling it.
Nah. The thing about ZoKORP is 1000% winning this in the battle. Like winning this in the entirety of strategy. Every time we see Joker go down, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. You're not gonna catch me on face to face messing with words. No.
Nobody said anything. Nobody said anything.
Listen, every time Joker goes down, the whole team falls apart. That's a big problem in my opinion. Joker is the only one that really seems like he handles the entirety with the concept. I don't know if he's IGL, but you can tell a lot of it flows through his hand. Obviously, Yabba has had his moments of just getting in there and just knocking things out. But Joker is the one who's handling everything going forward. I mean, it really does rest on his shoulders when it comes to getting everything back. Looking at it, you know, they're coming back soon, and we're getting everyone in sooner or later once he rejoins. But I don't like what I'm seeing from NuTorious, you gotta do a little bit more based upon what's being thrown at you. They've showed you several times they're going to take a shield. They're going to shoot things at you. Take a Jaeger, take a Wamai, something. There has to be something there.
I mean, Jogarku has been that very large win condition for NuTorious, but something I want to call out as well. We briefly missed it, but NuTorious actually just had a timeout called against them. ZoKORP just called a timeout during the tech pause, meaning they're given some time to be able to reset, talk about what they can do better and how they can just put a pin in this and finish it by delivering that final nail in the coffin, which again is admirable because sometimes timeouts don't work in your favor. The last cast I did here for NEUROSTRIKE, we were casting F5 versus Zen Esports, both of which had coaches on their staff line, which is almost unheard of in a Tier 4 league. Having 2 coaches in the same game, Kylo, as a producer, you can tell me if that's something that's common. I personally don't think it is as a caster.
Not common, but it is a little bit more common than we actually expect. The problem is usually they have on 2 different hats. Usually it's a player coach, not a dedicated coach.
Yeah.
So you do sometimes have them, but it's not in the degree that you'll expect. I've seen literally where a player is playing on one team and coaching another. Why? Hey, do you? But that is not. It's not as uncommon as you might think. I've seen it. I've had some people that was on our staff who were coaches. It is very interesting when you get the concept behind what the idea of their coaching tactics are. Sometimes you just have to let it be. I love seeing that. Sorry, that ZoKORP is just sitting down and saying we're going to destroy everything in front of them because they're not destroying any. They're not stopping us. Looking at their lineup, that's exactly what they plan on doing. Ace, Flores, Ash. You're looking at everything to be destroyed that's in front of you. That's what that tells me. You're all about the destructibility. And that's what they're going to do. If they keep pushing them back, there's nothing they have that can stop them. The only thing they have is the mute, and it doesn't look like that mute is really affecting anything that's going forward when it comes to the drone ability or getting in the intel at that point. It's going to be very interesting to see how NuTorious handles this scenario. They're really going to have to go out and just look at taking the fight in a totally different way. Good Night taking out Genesis, and that's exactly what you want to see as a start. Well, hey, we'll have to see how it's going to work when it comes to Tachanka versus the Blackbeard. Tachanka.
Oh my God, oh. Good Night.
Oh, okay.
Living up to his name, jeez. 2 more players that reside close in the offices. He'll deliver the 3rd kill, looking for the 4th. Can he find it? Shut up by Arizona. But after what, he's left a trail of bodies in his wake, and now we find ourselves with NuTorious dangerously close from throwing this lead away. They were gifted 3 kills by Good Night. He could not do anything more in this round with that LMG in his hands. There's 2 more bodies that you guys need to take care of, and you were 1 away from pushing this to overtime. which would be great for your overall record and the moral for the next map. But Dagger looks like he is not stopping alongside with Arizona. They've both broken that double kill threshold, or the 2-digit threshold in this game. They're ready. But as of now, looks like things are going to slow down while both teams reevaluate how they're going to play. Azami is going to be the person who pinpoints the reaction of Dagger. She's going to play alongside with Jero in the corner. It'll be a 1 kill as Ashes takes care of Arizona. Dagger's finding that refrag onto Jero, and now we find ourselves with Daggers just below 10 HP, and that shotgun at that range is enough to deal another blow. And Kylo took pause number 2.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Sino.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Wait.
Don't do
What was the KD? Rennie, can we see the KD? What is he?
Oh no.
On 17! Oh, no good. You've just sniped your career before it started. Oh no. Oh, poor guy. Oh no. Oh no.
He's not gonna have a good night. I promise you that. They're gonna hear that knock on the door.
It's 3 a.m. in the morning.
Come on out, brother.
I'm locked up.
Oh my lord.
Identify as Sino? What? Yo.
No. I'm here for it.
What is going? I'm telling you. If I were to choose to cast in between tier 2 and tier 4, I'd choose. Nah, you thought I was gonna say tier 4? Hell no. I'd choose tier 2 any day of the week. But this is pretty fun. This is pretty fun. I know. Everybody, I want to hear a Cheeg stealth appreciation because, again, our observer is completely lacking, possibly under the influence, and watching 2 games while observing. Rennie, your ability to multitask is absolutely insane, you alcoholic. But I love the fact that you're here and helping us today, because you could have just been an alcoholic only watching 1 game, but instead you've decided to do 2 and provide me with a clean feed. So I can't complain because I am very happy that we are back to full strength. We could have sent it to break, but we like to yap. We like to hit casual banter. And Kylo likes being 95 years old.
Correct. Oh my god. Listen,
like an old tree of wisdom.
Listen, back in my day, we used to talk to each other with strings and cans, all right? This is how we're going.
Yeah.
But I do love what we have seen here. NuTorious, great showing on that last round. I guarantee you Will wants to hear it, so let me go ahead and say it. That was a great round from NuTorious. I think they finally got a good opportunity to show what they can do with Good Night really pushing out and taking out 3 out of the 5 operators with just Tachanka without having to use anything. He really handled that very well for them. And it looks like that honestly ZoKORP wasn't even expecting him to be that aggressive. So it really did work in their favor. But now is that opportunity. Does it go to OT, or do you walk away right here losing the first map? And I don't want to see that. It's time for y'all to wake up on a Saturday night. All right. I'm gonna. I don't
How
know
does
why.
it get worse?
I don't know why it was stuck in my head. Not even Saturday. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Listen.
What is going on, Kylo? Come on. Give me a better point then. You know what? Dad jokes allowed if you make good points.
Oh, well, here's a good point for you. NuTorious is actually starting to slow down on how they're holding their defense on this. They're actually trying to get a little bit more aggressive and try to take out exactly what they're going to throw at them this time. With the Solace, they know exactly where the intel is. They're going to get all the information behind them. So they're really going to go ahead and have the advantage in regards to the intel. That's the #1 thing that they needed in this regards, is getting that intel out of the hands of ZoKORP and keeping their own intel. Because usually it looks like ZoKORP has their number. They're trying to slow that down. With Blackbeard being gone too, you're now in a good spot. You can slow down quite a bit of stuff. You know, the only thing they can do is continually hold their flank watch and hopefully not lose another shield, quote unquote shield operator, which is Osa. So it can really go. It looks like it's in the right hands right now for NuTorious. It looks like they made their adjustments that they need to make, and they're getting the intel all throughout the time. and stopping the intel of the other team as well. Better point?
Why is he giving comms in the all chat?
Listen. He wants a challenge. That's what it is.
Looks like the challenge is going to be opening up that breach because it does not look too fun to deal with currently, but finally that verticality is being established here. It looks like both teams are taking their sweet old time to be able to establish their points of strength here. But right now for ZoKORP, they're down a body but dealing a good amount of damage to keep their overall grasp on this site heavy and tight. The breach gets open, Jagarku falls first, but an instant refrag takes care of Barry. And now we find ourselves yet again with NuTorious in the lead in terms of bodies, but that health on Jero has my attention. He's very low and he still possesses that C4, so if he gets carried away and tries to go for an obnoxious C4, he gets shot in the arm, the leg, any part of him, and he falls. And Goodnight is the next person to go into that Goodnight. It looks like ZoKORP are starting to heat up here and apply that pressure on from the main breach while they try to set their next player up for an easy lurk. They'll have Dagger waiting in that locker hall, trying to get his hands dirty and get his chunk of the pie. Jero sitting close, trying to deny, but can't even land that first shot. There's a fatality outside the breach, and it looks like Ash is going to deliver the next onto Yellow. Dagger's killing Jero, finding the next onto Yabba Dabba Doo, looking for Ashes, but he has full health. He's hidden behind the chassis, and it looks like we're going to overtime.
That almost did not go well for NuTorious.
That almost went horribly.
Yeah. You know what? I love watching NuTorious. They always give you a show when it comes to banter. Oh my goodness. Even if you listen.
Yo, hey.
Oh, what? Why did it just go left? What just happened?
Hello?
Oh my goodness.
Guys, come on. Well, we're still somewhat professional. Let's be mindful.
Listen.
I can't lie, though. That is hilarious.
NuTorious. I don't know, but we're here for it apparently. All right. Looking at how they're playing this though, I like this side. Looking at the lineup for NuTorious, I actually like what they're doing here. This is truly intel versus intel denial. Depending on how they're putting the mute, obviously they're going to have to just, make sure that they can't get enough information in, stop the wall from getting taken, although they can still technically get it from a higher point. Where mute puts his stuff, he can stop their intel and they can still get the intel using the Valkyrie. The interesting part about this is I've seen something similar in regards to a setup like this. I'm not going to use the team name, not going to give anyone a different shout out, but if they use this correctly, they can stop them dead in their tracks if they're taking an admin push completely. That's what you want to see. Looks like ZoKORP's not taking any shields this time. They're trying to take all opportunity and remove lines of sight with how they're going to push everything. And that is not how you want to get started. Why? Not the Tachanka. You are important late game. What are we doing?
I can't lie though. Every time we've seen him play Tachanka, has he been playing passive? No, he's always been either the first or second to go down. So to be fair, the last time he got a triple playing that aggressive, but maybe not spawn peeking with a hollow. But I mean, he's good, and what else are we gonna say? He's already going to jail tonight. We can't say anything else for the guy.
Yeah.
Yabba Dabba Doo, though, is going to be the second person to fall on the team of NuTorious before they even find a response. The C4 a little too late. That's Jero to give away his position. Jagarku follows next, and now you find yourselves in a dominated round by ZoKORP as they find themselves up 3 bodies, make it 4 as they're now approaching the door of the Flawless. Ashes is going to be the one that provides it to them on a silver platter. Buddy, you have a shotgun in the close range. I understand you don't want to be overran, but I mean, come on, bear with me. Swinging into the crosshairs of an ACOG at range definitely doesn't seem like a better option.
It's, you know what? I feel like NuTorious is trolling me. I think that's what they're doing.
Hey man,
the moment I give them some solid praise, when I give them some solid praise, they just say, we were just kidding.
You may be leaving us after this, but I promise you, we most likely will go map 3 if they lose this. They did it last season too. They did it last season too. Yeah, I gotta watch 3 maps.
You know what? I understand. I really wish I could have did all 3 of these now. I really do. Unfortunately, my old self has to go to work.
I think the real crime is you working at 8 p.m. I think that's the real crime.
Listen, to finance a league, you have to do some things, okay? Wait, that sounded horrible. Wait a minute. Don't put me in the room with Goodnight.
Kylo and Good.
You know what just happened there? That went so left that I don't know why it sounded so bad.
God, you guys are all going to jail. I'm the only good one
It's
here.
a wrap. It's a wrap. Go ahead, throw me. Throw away the key apparently.
Why get what I do? My car is stolen. No registration. All right, as I was saying, ZoKORP on the defensive now on console. I mean, this is everything they need to be able to close it out here. But the only mistake, not a mistake, it's not that you really can't control it. The win condition here for NuTorious is they are much more menacing on attack. They won more attacks, and they struggle on defense because they can play much more conservative when they lose a body, opposed to their defensive where they're kind of just swinging like headless chickens and hoping for the best. But as of now, it looks like Arizona has somebody dead to rights to whoever walks in here and doesn't drone out the first.
You know, looking at this right now, I'm loving what they're actually... Looking at NuTorious's lineup, I love what their plan is. They're actually trying to hunt people down. They're trying to move them out of their spot to walk them into gunshots. That's what they should have been doing from the very beginning. Ram would move them out of the spots. You can obviously track them through Deimos, making them have to move a little bit more and more, open some walls, pushes them in corners. This is what you wanted to see. This is exactly what you wanted to see when it comes to this. However, this can still go bad for them. ZoKORP definitely will have the intel with the Valkyrie, and then of course the Frost Mats. If you're not paying attention to what you're doing, you can get caught up. It can really go left or right in regards to
oh
this
my
one,
God,
and
Arizona!
That is not what you wanted to see. Once again, like I said, Joker was my pivot point in regards to how the team will play. Him going down first is not where you wanted to handle that. That's not what you wanted to see.
That's a hilarious inkling too, because Arizona was the one on Thermite on that same exact window a couple of rounds ago. This time he's the one to actually deliver the kill. He took damage, but he didn't fall when he was on Thermite. Changes that narrative, takes the head off of Jagarku, and now has denied the breach for the remainder of the round. There are no can openers that are going to be utilized on that breach because you need Deimos to open up this hatch. One isn't even enough to get that breach open and be able to be conservative with the way you want to play. But luckily for NuTorious, they'll find another kill. This time, it'll refrag. C4 narrowly avoids Asher. He will take damage, but not enough to put him in critical condition. He currently has 15 kills next to his name, looking to sniff out daggers here and find his 16th. But still, with just 45 seconds left, we know how NuTorious plays. They are one of those teams that overheats a little too quickly, similar to F5. With the way they play, when they overheat, they give away rounds a little too easily, especially against a team like ZoKORP, who is so passionate to get the things done correctly and play the game very textbook style. They will suffer. That's exactly what we've been seeing in this game, and that's exactly why ZoKORP are the ones with the lead right now. But, again, with overheating comes those individual rounds where they go absolutely crazy. Seems like this is going to be one of them. 2 rounds and 2 kills in response, but Daggers evens that out by taking care of Yabba Dabba Doo, leaving us at a 3v3. Daggers finds 1, but gets retraded out. And now we find ourselves in a 1v2. That case doesn't seem to be going down. That cross is too far to be held from the depths of server. Jero denying 1, 2, and Goodnight finds the 2 to get the round taken care of. 4 seconds left on the clock, and he's showing us why he's the king. Oh, buddy, it looks like you bailed yourself out of both Siege jail and IRL jail as you forced your team to round of 50. Right back to jail. Never mind.
Essentially. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
You know what? Yeah, they'll think I'm crazy for just stopping and not continuing my point. Rennie, I'm blocking you after this.
All right.
I haven't been rage baited by anybody more than Rennie in life.
Listen. The next stream I have with Cino, I'm bringing Rennie in. There we go.
The next stream that both of you are in, I'm retiring.
You're retiring. Jesus.
I'm retiring.
Listen, looking at the setup right now, I don't necessarily know how NuTorious is going to handle this. You've made it to round 15. You managed to go all the way to the wire. Let's see how you handle this. You have the ability here to take a win and run with it. I don't see how you're going to protect yourself at the vending. You're going to have to run, obviously. But looking at it as well, it doesn't look like ZoKORP took anything to really move them out the spot outside of the Ash. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a very good little fight. It seems like that both teams are dedicated to just taking the fight. No shields, no anything. We're guns and util all day, every day on this one.
Now, Kylo, I have to ask, what's your prediction on this round? Because you switched up twice now.
You know what? I'm just gonna have to keep my switch up. I'm gonna stay with ZoKORP. I have to at this point because ZoKORP has shown us that they're willing to handle the scenario with patience. Them already below pretty much stops anything. They can move into admin pretty well. It's going to be how is NuTorious going to respond to them, because they are making sure that there's no one that's coming in for that flank. Close fight right here where you're going to see Valkyrie and Grid.
What a shot!
Unfortunately,
wow, by either side.
They traded. Okay, that opens the door for NuTorious, but it really does take away the opportunity for the C4 outside of course the Mute and Warden. But I don't see either one of them having to flank in order to do that. That just wouldn't make sense in regards to the defense at the moment.
I apologize to Daggers and the team of ZoKORP. I had not realized he has broken the 20 kill threshold. I apologize. I am a horrible caster for not realizing that. But ZoKORP losing their biggest fragger of the game definitely is going to affect their overall playstyle. An instant kill by Abadabadoo's refragged out by Barry's ability to recognize the pattern of this aggression. 4 pings are live on the man who sits close in manager's office, but Jogarku is being held by the man who is wedging himself in between this door and anyone who rotates in and through it. As Barry will continue to stay on these surface stairs, and Goodnight looks to think about a possible flank here. Now, there is no gridlock anymore. No track stingers has gone down as well, meaning this map is available to do whatever the hell you really want for these defenders. But, again, as it stands, both teams need to walk on eggshells here because this is the final breaking point. This is the last round before you go to the next map, regardless of who wins it. And it looks like Goodnight wants it to be NuTorious as he'll take care of Barry. But still, you have to worry about the pressure that comes in here from Break, because once you deal with that man who sits close with that shotgun, it is go mode. You can try to get that plant down because this cross that's being held by Spicy is enough to hold out players rotating in from the side and the long desk. Arizona shuts out Jogarku. The next will be Goodnight to win onto Spicy. Trades out so much health, making it realistic for Arizona to be able to isolate each and every one of these kills. But these defenders know all they have to do is defend or run out the clock, but Goodnight falls, meaning it's just Ashes left in a 1v1 situation. It couldn't get more down to the wire than this. Arizona, you need to choose in between falling for him or trying to deny it, but it looks like Ashes doesn't need the C4, Kylo. He'll just shoot him in the face, and NuTorious win it in the dying moments of the first map. They somehow manage to win it in the very last moment.
Listen, NuTorious. Y'all are gonna, okay, it's time to come out of, go into my past a little bit. I've had a heart attack before. Y'all are trying to cause me to have another one with the way y'all are playing.
I mean, you're the one who hated on them, and they're the ones that brought it back and proved you wrong.
You know what? I'm fine with that. But Jesus, to make it easy for me going forward, I had one job, and that's to put your foot on their neck. Don't write up. Don't play with your feet. You almost lost this, though. If they really wanted to get aggressive and not go for the plant, they really could have done that and really put you in a bad scenario going into it. So, although you won it down literally to the very wire. He had to plant within the last couple seconds. If he had just a little bit more time, I don't know how well that goes for NuTorious. You really could have, you gotta stop playing with your food. Finish it off, get it going, make sure you win for the love of God.
You're such a big back man. Why are you always talking about food? I don't know what else to say.
I am definitely a big back. Okay, I do not deny my big backness. Okay, I 1000% have had a donut sandwich. All right, I am here for it.
What the hell is a donut sandwich? You know what?
So
I don't judge. I don't judge.
Listen, we're big backs over here. Okay, they cut a donut in half as the top bun. Meat cheese, not meat cheese. Sorry.
I'm so happy
hamburger
I'm Canadian,
patty
dude.
with
Lord
cheese.
Have mercy.
Exactly.
So happy
big
I'm
back.
Canadian.
Listen,
Anyways,
Kylo the big back from now on. All right?
Kylo the big back, the absolute GOAT, ladies and gentlemen. The first map, 15-round fashion, and it's NuTorious to pull on ahead to win that first map by a sliver. ZoKORP looking very promising as we head on over to Clubhouse, which is going to be their pick. I am Sino. I am your caster, the producer. This is Kylo. He sadly has to leave us, which means we're going to have another guest appearance. I know this hasn't been the traditional cast, but here on the channel, we like to do the weirdest things possible when it comes to adversity. Once we are faced with problems, we do the most random things possible, so this is exactly what I've resorted to. A great first map. We look to bring you a better one, so if you've been enjoying, make sure to leave a follow. And without further being said, Kylo, thank you, have a great night, and we will be back with our next map. All right, guys. So, we're testing. Yeah, we're actively going. Hey, Highest, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's working. There we go. So I actually
go.
don't have Kylo with me today. He had to go to work, unfortunately. But fortunately, we have the man himself, the GOAT, Highest. Formerly retired now, or not formerly, he is retired. Former Siege player and now turned caster. Highest, how are you today?
I'm doing okay. Ready to cast this game. Not a lot of casting experience, but we're gonna make it work.
Hey man, that's why we call things pugcasting. It's always fun to just have a good time. If you just missed that first map, we just witnessed a barn burner where ZoKORP fell in the last round, the 15th round, 8-7 to NuTorious, just because Good decided to become LeBron. It was a beautiful round. It's a beautiful game so far, and they are doing amazing. For those of you who just joined us, we have 3 maps on the board today. What you've just watched was Consulate, where, again, as mentioned, we saw one team win, and they go by the name of NuTorious. They are ruthless. They are unstoppable, which means we go to our next map, which is going to be Clubhouse, the pick of ZoKORP, and the one that's actually already started, considering I app so much that we've actually gotten past that point. But the defensive first for ZoKORP. Now, Highest, I know you were mentioning some experience playing against this team. What do you think their strong suits are? What do you think they're better at? And would they perform on a map such as Clubhouse after suffering such a heartbreaking loss?
I think they are very good at, like, you know, it sounds corny, but they are good at shooting their guns. They could definitely compete with these guys at this level. My question would be is that 8-7 1v1 with 10 seconds left, is that going to chalk them for this map?
Agreed. And something that me and Kylo were actually chatting about was because we know this is tier 4, and we know some of these teams have experience playing at that higher level, but just still having a general coach for your team is still kind of crazy to deal with, especially once you have that timeout called. But as far as my knowledge takes me, I don't think there's a coach for either side, meaning this becomes a lot harder to do when you are down in mental. The only thing that really does help them in this situation is the fact is they got a little bit of a break in between maps. But as of now, they have to come out the gate swinging, and that's exactly what they're going to do as Genesis takes care of Ashes first.
Yep. Great pick from the Vert.
Yabba Dabba Doo, the man himself, paired up with Goodnight. It's always these dual roles that we always see, and they always manage to work. Goodnight gets one, and you couldn't blame him if he decided to just drop right back down oil. But Yabba decides to go the furthest mile and then stretch around the whole map, making him more susceptible to be caught on any intel, but it will be a higher risk, higher reward moment. Arizona taking some damage. Spicy next up, and then ZoKORP takes even more damage, as one player is going to be approaching Dirt, because he has the can openers, if I'm not mistaken. That is Arizona. The rest of the players are going to be droning out, going for their intel, but that's exactly where Yabba comes in. This is the price you pay for not bringing a flank watch. You have Nomad, you have Gridlock, why not just utilize them? And Good is also being let loose here, as they both will continue to terrorize these attackers on the roam. That is 3 kills combined on the first round roam. Genesis really tries to keep his team in it, but doesn't matter. You guys are falling before you even approach the site, and he accidentally falls down Moto. Yabba gets the easy kill, leaving Genesis in a 1vx from Dirt, looking to catch somebody on their back heel by proning to catch them off guard, but having somebody close makes that a bigger problem. The double team between Yabba and the Mira distance closes out the first round, and it goes towards NuTorious.
And I think ZoKORP had a really good plan. They got the hatches open early. They got the Vert open early. They got the first pick off the Vert. I just think you gotta work on those little things, setting flank drones. Every round, you have a flank drone in garage. Nobody's watching it. You have one dead. Why is there nobody on the garage cam? He walked up the ladder and just picked 1, picked 2, and then it's just all downhill from there.
I don't know if you saw that. Good is my favorite. Is my favorite when it comes to absolutely trolling the other team. Hey buddy hatch there might be the top 5 things to say when you see somebody accidentally hot drop a hatch in front of a person waiting to get their piece of the pie. And again, they just followed up with even more, it's not even toxicity, it's just banter, but seeing casual banter when you guys are trying to lock in definitely plays a role to that mental, especially when you guys have just come off an OT loss. It allows NuTorious to continue to fuel up. They look to continue and build up. They look to continue and have their foot on the gas, while ZoKORP needs to catch up mentally and physically to try to push this guy through now.
And that casual banter is nothing new from NuTorious. I've played against him too many times. Even each time, I remember that back in the day they used to call Cheese Boss a cheater.
I miss Cheese Boss. I haven't cast it in a while. Mirror trick coming out here from Yaba. Successful, but not for the bottom portion of the wall. I've actually not seen that. The Selma charge does enough damage to be able to take care of the bottom portion of the breach, and if I'm not mistaken, that's large enough to be able to crouch through, actually allowing the attackers to advance in throughout CC. With heavy highway control here, First Blood almost goes towards Genesis, but it'll be Dagger to take care of Good Night here, and now these attackers have a very, very easy push ahead of them because we don't see anybody extended out into cash, and that's going to pose a problem because once you lose that CC and cash control, you're just going to be packed in like sardines between construction, logistics, and the sites and get picked off one by one, and that's exactly what we're seeing happen here. NuTorious are now down 2 bodies, a single response, and Bear's the only one to lose damage for ZoKORP. What the hell? He's opening up both breaches.
Interesting, but not that crazy. Having all those angles open is very important, and I think it helps him compress the site even more. You see one person is locked off site downstairs, and then your 2 people are just sitting ducks, basically.
They look to find each and every one of these sitting ducks in sight, but Yabba Dabba Doo almost catches Arizona on his back heel, but he whiffs! Dagger onto Jogarku to make matters worse, and it's Daggers to walk in, enforcing a flawless round. If only we didn't see a whiff, we would have seen only a 4-man count, or maybe a different man count, but still, NuTorious, you went from absolutely destroying them on the roam to packing yourselves in like sardines. You almost have to wonder if the very different the different styles of play, when you contrast them or when you compare them to each other, how each of them really complements or destroys the playstyle of NuTorious. When they're aggressive, it works out. When they're passive, it works horribly. And I think ZoKORP's starting to learn this.
Yeah, I really like that take from ZoKORP, by the way. Just opening as much as you can. They brought 2 hard breachers, which is very important for that site, in my opinion. Bringing those 2 hard breachers, opening everything. I was confused with the CC breach, but that did push them out of CC. It got them the objective that they needed. And then after that, it's just sitting on a window waiting for somebody to peek you, and you just get all those picks, and it's over for the defense.
I'm just concerned though for the integrity of that site setup. I feel like just being discouraged off of that mirror breach gone wrong. You had the initial thought of doing it, but losing it doesn't mean you completely leave the area. You guys have Castle on the board. You have Mira. You can bring a shield with Warden and occupy top red as well. There's so many different things that you can do. I feel like just giving up at the first site of adversity is going to be an issue if that's what you continue to do on ZoKORP's map, especially when you allow them to heat up. They're on that attacking side. If they get up on the attack and then get to switch on defense with that comfortable ability, I think it's just going to be a one-sided game, and we are going to be forced to go to map 3.
Right. I think it's really interesting what ZoKORP's doing with this breach. They want to deny the play on the window and just cut off this area just so that they can play on highway freely. And I think it's really interesting that they're doing this.
Genesis taking care of Jogarku here, but it is interesting how they continue to go for that double breach, and it has rarely been met with any denial. I mean, come on, NuTorious, no bandit on. Actually, yeah, you know what? I didn't see the bandit band. There's so many different things that you guys can do here. You can try to impact trick that left side of the breach, but there's so many things that's gone wrong. You need to be able to show us an inkling of hope here as you guys continue to fall short. That's 2 rounds now where we haven't seen a single kill in the favor of NuTorious. A crazy angle here established. Watching that cross for anybody who dares flank. No rotate in through red. Ella doesn't have the impacts, but finally Yabba Dabba doing good. We'll take care of 2 players. He'll find the second, and now they're going to build up that pressure. Spicy falls next. It's domination defenders, as NuTorious have now found 4 kills in a matter of 30 seconds. Goodnight knows better not to throw his body away. Barry being isolated outside of highway, no case in hand with 75 HP. I mean, it's not the best of situations, but we've seen worse and we've seen better from ZoKORP where they've been able to win it. These conditions aren't ideal, but what a turnaround for NuTorious.
It's just insane how this all unfolded. They did the very same thing that they did from last round, getting the double breach, getting the highway control, and now it's just all falling apart just because they thought it was too easy.
Just textbook. It's the textbook plays, and somehow we see it go a completely different way. Maybe it's the aggression, but Yabo was prone when he killed that man off of the CC repel. That is not a fight you should be losing. That's a pixel versus a fully crouched Ella where you can see full body. Couple of issues there, but you guys need to be able to just have your heads on a swivel, be able to say, yeah, that went wrong, but what's new? What are we going to do, and how are we going to establish a different level of control? But NuTorious looking to get their second round, and they're 30 seconds away from establishing that, making zeros. Yaba finds his third, giving NuTorious their second defensive round, and finally going crazy to be able to bring it back and break the siege of flawlesses.
Just very good round from ZoKORP to start, but just throwing it away. Like, at minimum, if you're gonna lose that fight when he was prone, you have to have somebody there to refrag that, because if you don't, this happens, you lose everything. You have nothing else to do. ZoKORP takes a timeout. Much needed.
This early on, that's actually something I wanted to talk about. With Cincinnati, I know you're a coach for the LAN. I know that was happy. It was a very funny time to see. But
yep.
Regarding the times where you guys didn't always have a solid cast or a solid coach or a fixed coach, would you guys prefer to call a timeout to discuss things between the five of you, or would you guys just try to keep your minds on straight and just listen to your IGL for the rest of the game without calling a timeout?
I think we more or less called timeouts just to, I would say it was more momentum and just get our head straight, but we would call timeouts. We would prefer, like, most of the time we would use our timeouts almost every game. We would try to do it almost every game. Sometimes we did it, sometimes we did, but more of it was more momentum. Sometimes we did have a coach there, sometimes we didn't, but yeah, it was more momentum, more listening to the IGL, listening to what we need to do, listening to the takes that we need to do, setting up a take, setting up a defense. If we need to adjust, we'll adjust that way.
Now, in your opinion, do you feel like timeouts could be a double-edged sword? Sometimes it can help, and sometimes it'll absolutely destroy you guys?
I think it depends if we're using it in the right way. Because there will be some rounds where we'll be up like a lot, and then we'll lose a really bad round, and we'll take that time out, and then it will just throw us all off for the rest of the game and make that game closer than it has to be.
Yeah.
But if we're using it in the right way, or if any team is using it in the right way, I think using this early timeout is a little off, but I think it was needed. And just to make sure that everything is straight, everything, like, they know they can trust each other, especially after a 5v2 loss like that.
Now, many things here that NuTorious needs to be able to address, and I feel like getting carried away with your aggression is going to be one of them, especially when you're on opponent's turf. Yabba is about to walk up into very heavy amounts of pressure here. Oh my god, Jugarku! Up the north, what a shot! Transfers and goes back up to 100 HP. I was going to criticize the ability to play very aggressive here. His robot was stationed in strip! The refrag finally comes in from Daggers. I was about to criticize the aggression here, but it was all a bait. Yabba provides the foundation to be able to bait out from chains. Good Night has that distance at strip, giving Grim and the formerly known Genesis as a target. And from there, you just see a one-sided domination. That might have been one of the better rounds I've seen on defense on Clubhouse.
Yeah, and you were talking before this round. Can it be a double-edged sword? Can that timeout be a double-edged sword? Well, for NuTorious's sake, they know that their opponents are not doing well. They know they're not doing well. So what do? They start challenge. They start making things more aggressive, and then they just add on to all this stress and
what a shot
stuff that's happening to ZoKORP, and it's just it just goes down. It goes down for ZoKORP from there.
Looks like this is just going to be a one-sided map as it just looks like it's a NuTorious era. We saw one round from ZoKORP that was a flawless, and we said, yes, it's going to be finally a uniform play, but it looks like NuTorious has everything covered from where the next players are going to be to where they're going to try to seek refuge and what they're going to try to do next. I think it's beautiful from NuTorious. They look more threatening currently on this clubhouse than they did on Conslip, but something that we've learned from that previous map is we can never count ZoKORP up when they start to build that momentum.
Yeah. And although I didn't watch a lot of last map, I knew it was close. So if anything is possible here, especially on ZoKORP's map, they must have some good defenses. They must have some good setups if they're very comfortable picking this map as well.
The main thing that was different about last map was the fact is it was close, yes, but it was actually not the way you would have expected it to be. I mean, we thought it was going to be a one-sided affair in NuTorious's favor because it was their map and they took an early 2-round lead, if I'm not mistaken. But from there, ZoKORP came back and found 3 rounds. And then from there, they built up to the match point where it was actually NuTorious that had to come back 2 rounds to force it into overtime, where they eventually won on the 15th round. So I feel like if ZoKORP doesn't get the head start, they're going to struggle. And being down a map and being down 2 rounds now, I feel like is going to contribute to the overall ability of your performance and how you guys play, especially after that disastrous last round.
Right. It's just, and I watched a little bit of the last game, not all of it, but the last round was very disastrous for ZoKORP. Going down to a 1v1, like, again, that could be like a very chalking point for ZoKORP. They could just be their mental could be in the dumps right now, but if they can get in this map, forget about last map, forget about the other rounds, the 5v2, the chain repel, if they're forgetting about all this and they just focus on their game and work on themselves, then they could succeed here.
I can't lie. That chain repel counter was kind of insane. That might have been the greatest thing. That might have been the greatest thing I've seen.
That's the greatest thing, the worst thing I've ever seen, because I would never do that in my life.
But the fact is,
I would die. Yeah.
And I also just feel like Scopus is one of the. I think Scopus is the only operator you can do it with because of the quick transfers. You saw how fast he switched on and managed to come in from strip and get that next kill. That was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Genesis opens it up.
It took ZoKORP a lot to get the pick back. They lost 2 for 1.
Yeah, it took Grim a while to try to get his head on right, but I mean, honestly, what can you do but try to come into the next round with a positive mindset? But it looks like you guys are gonna have to try your best to just continue to keep your foot on the gas. But as Ashes is the first one to go down, it looks like this might start to work in your guys' favor. Just hold the lead and don't fall to this arena. You shall be fine. But 90 seconds remain, and it looks like these attackers have met their first roadblock of the game.
Genesis goes down. This could be the moment. Yep, and there it goes. Oh no.
3 bodies highest! 3 in 20 seconds! Come on, guys! You were playing better on your opponent's turf. Unless there's a legendary comeback for the next round or for the next map, I need to see something. Here and now. Yabba Dabba Doo just plays daggers in a Queen's Gambit. What a shot! As now it's just Barry outside the CC window in a 1-tap to try to close out that man count. But you have that case a ways away, a Clash that stands in between you, a Surya Gate that stands in between the site, and so many decisions, but absolutely no time to make it in.
Ooh, and it goes down to a 1v1.
Oh my god.
Hold on.
Wait, maybe. But he's so low, the time doesn't play in his favor, and the case might be a problem to deal with here. But he deals the first amount of damage. 2 ticks dealt to good. But still, it's going to be a game of ring around the rosy, and he gets him dead to rights as he's aimed in at the wrong thing. And good knows the better and pre-fires the hell out of Ash.
And my main question about this round is what was the objective for ZoKORP? Is like, if you're gonna do this con side take, we have 3 people sitting con. What do you think is gonna happen? You have a little small contested area, and everybody's just standing in front of the door. The Thermite wasted 2 charges on the wall. What do you think's gonna happen? You have no wall open. You have no pressure. You have no. Or they did have a Grim, but the Grim wasn't grimming out anything. So like, what was their objective that round?
I think the prophecy is let's get the first pick, sit back and relax for the rest of the round.
but they've done that 2 rounds in a row.
Located by attackers.
Mhm.
So they're not 2 rounds in a row. They've done this like 3 of the 4 rounds this game, or 3 of the 5 rounds this game. I'm sorry, and they need to like pressure something. They get the pressure, they get the opening pick they need, and then from there, what do you have?
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Man,
Well, no, I'm in the middle of something. What
so
do you
many
need?
things gone wrong, and
What's
I'm
up?
actually
I'm in the
sad
middle of something.
because
What do you need?
ZoKORP just looked like a team that
I'm in
was
the
going
middle
to
of
give
something.
NuTorious a run for their money. I mean, I advocate for NuTorious as much as the next guy,
Huh?
but I need to see some opposition.
Okay,
Last
why?
season, they were barely opposed. Last season, they cruised to the finals and eventually the championship. But, I mean, there's so many different things going wrong for ZoKORP here. I just need them to approach a 4-2 split. Otherwise, a 5-1 might be a little too hard to bring back, especially with a full-powered NuTorious. Getting that first blood might be the first pathway to close out this difference.
Yeah, but I really hope it goes NuTorious's way, because a 5-1 split would be disastrous for them. But we've seen them get this first pick, what, 4 out of the 6 rounds. We need to see them convert. We need to see some conversions. We need to see some executes. We need to see something.
Oh,
And
God.
he gets another pick, so that should. Please, please, I'm begging you.
Highest begging for the better point of ZoKORP here. Yabba Dabba Doo, even though his team has suffered 2 casualties, it doesn't look like he has any plan on stopping too soon. He's playing the game in a Call of Duty leveled style, which is a little interesting considering they don't have this mirror that faces into sight, meaning gold is just an absolute play area for anybody who wants to go crazy. Jogarku almost just did something crazy. Manages to get a double kill from the window before he's taken care of by the Capitao Flame Bolts, and from there it's an easy refrag out from Arizona onto the breach. Easy kills, and finally a 4-2 split. Highest, it's looking a little bit more balanced.
Yep. 4-2. It could be worse. On a map like Clubhouse, I do want to see those 3-3s, maybe those 4-2s on your side. That's just me though, but I mean,
We
we'll
can
see
take
if-
into
if-
account. We can take into account it is mostly defender sided with the bans that we've been seeing today,
Mhm.
and that ZoKORP is going on to defense. We could give them the benefit of the doubt. But I feel like
Yeah.
with this stupid tech pause that's about to come in, we're gonna have to wait for that benefit of the pause.
Yeah. But maybe this tech pause is what ZoKorp needs. Maybe
A little
just
bit
a
of
little
an
bit of time to.
impromptu timeout.
Yep, just a little bit of time to sit with their own thoughts and figure out what's going on with them.
Agreed. Ladies and gentlemen, in the meantime, while we wait for these guys to get their heads on straight, their PCs on right, we will be back after a short break. ladies and gentlemen, thanks to the laziness, actually not laziness, thanks to F5 actually losing to Freaky Frogs, we finally have the full attentiveness of Rennie and her ability to get the show back on the road. So, and now she's watching Amki.
Nah, that's LeBron.
If you know, you know. What a time to be like, I wasn't even there. I wish I was there. 4-2 split for those of you who didn't watch the first half of this game. NuTorious now have a 2-round lead. It's a dangerous lead, but something that you're going to need if you're on the attack side of your opponent's turf. So many things to do, and all you guys have to do is be able to keep your foot on the gas and show them why you guys are the kings and want to go to the finals.
Yeah, and like I said before the tech pause, could be exactly what ZoKORP needed. Impromptu timeout, a little minute to sit with yourselves, sit with what you need to do. You're defending on your map pick. Let's see what they can do with this side.
Yabba dabba do. It's so fun. I need to start casting NuTorious more. It's so fun to say. It's so fun to say. In like the clutch moments, it's really hard to say because of how fast you have to say it. But it's hilarious to say.
Yeah.
But
when I played NuTorious, he was not on the team, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of new people right now. Right. Jero and Yabba are somewhat new. I think Ashes was there last time I seen.
Yeah.
Where does Rin play now?
Rin, I'm pretty sure he's on the Element team.
I haven't been focusing, you know. The solo prod grind has just been occupying my time.
Solo work grind for me. I haven't been focusing on nothing.
You gotta get back into Siege. Come back on Talon.
We'll see.
Focusing a little bit more on the ins and outs of this game. I mean, the obvious thing that kind of just looks at me like a very bold letter is the fact is we have 2 players so far that have donuts, and now to continue that for Ashes, he's 0-6 alongside with Spicy, who's also 0-4. These players were not doing bad on Consulate. Ashes wasn't going crazy, but Spicy definitely was doing well on Consulate, which kind of poses the question, what's going on? What's going wrong? And what is mental chalking either side?
I think what might have been mental chalking for Spicy is how good he was doing. I tuned into the last part of the game. He had 20 kills, and now all that for what? He had 20 kills just to lose? So like...
I think that was daggers.
Oh, daggers. Oh, whoops.
What a shot by Yabba. Oh my god, good night.
Yo.
Literally, double entendre, and he looks like he's going to keep his foot on the gas, almost finding the third. But Arizona has the cover and shelter from the shelf in front of AKs. Yabba has a very low amount of HP. He needs to be considerable with the amount. Also has a holographic, meaning he doesn't get the advantage of the long-range ACOGs, but it doesn't really matter. The cross is being held from the depths of blue. Jero's looking to stick that plant, but the C4 from downtown denies it at the last second. Arizona is going to continue to seek refuge from this broken angle, looking to deliver that final blow, but it's just peekaboo, and he'll deliver that final headshot. Oh, finally, we could say ZoKORP has woken up as they have finally gotten themselves on the board. Their first defensive, their second in a row, and they've closed out the advantage to just 1.
And I think this is a good turning point for ZoKORP. You've had those rounds where you have all that man advantage, all that time, all that pressure that you needed, and you can't put together those rounds. And now the roles are flipped. You had good just running through his whole team, and then it all went for nothing. So that could be like a momentum shifter. What was I about to say? A momentum shifter could be a turning point for them. Like they could turn something around from this.
So many different things can happen right now, and I think it all relies on what happens on this site. The first time we saw Gym Bedroom today was a flawless round in favor of ZoKORP. They can replicate, but just on the defensive, I think we're looking at a very dominant ZoKORP side on defense. They're looking attentive. It looks like that pseudo timeout kind of helped them out here, and it looks like they're finally playing as a unit. They're playing as a cohesive unit that knows exactly what each and everyone's job is, and that's exactly why they won that last round.
A big thing I want to highlight from last round is the thing that they didn't do on attack, which they did last round, was play for those trades. You had that trade. onto good. Everything followed from there. You started trading off your players. You started winning the round.
Facts indeed. It looks like ZoKORP have learned the memo not to give up CC so fast, and it's going to benefit them. Arizona, first blood, and doesn't get too hungry. Bites off exactly what he can chew and takes care of that spear entry only 40 seconds into the round.
But the pick
What a
right
free
back
frag,
on
though.
Arizona.
Thermite opening up that angle into construction. Highway pressure soon to be established here, and Barry holds the most influential position of the round. If he gives up that cash control, if he gives up that wedge, then we're going to have a problem here, because it isolates the man who sits at top red as well, and it allows NuTorious to just fill the gaps and hit the gap until they can capitalize by either finding a kill or getting map control. As of now, they're doing very well compared to the NuTorious defense on this site. They're good for time, they're good for utility, and they still have all of site to hide behind and construction. So far, ZoKORP have the upper hand.
Right. And I think one of the biggest things that NuTorious is struggling with here is that they lost their spearhead. They're getting the control they need, but they're getting it at such a slow pace. They're opening these walls, but they don't have nearly as much control as they need just to get in the map, get in the site, get into the areas that they need to take the site. They don't have any util for this. This Valkyrie sitting in the corner, which could have just been solved by a simple nade from the Blackbeard or a Blackbeard just running at your face. So, I'm curious to see what NuTorious is going to do to solve this issue that is their space.
You're getting some love from Happy in the chat here. Dagger is sitting parked out in the corner. Not a single piece of intel has actually found him, meaning he might have a clutch spot here, but it looks like it's just a rush here for NuTorious. Daggers, oh my god, almost a whiff, but managing to get that kill. In the meantime, Barry denies the cross to whoever's holding the plant and gets the man who's planting himself, leaving Ashes, who was just watching the cross by his lonesome, into logistics, looking to isolate each and every one. He'll take care of Daggers here. He just needs to find Barry. He stands in between him and the case, but luckily there's no hatches to run away from. It's just going to be pure gun skill, but Barry's the one to pull on ahead. And ZoKORP, from being down 3 rounds high, is to finally manage to pull it back and even it out.
Yeah, and it's like I said, like they didn't have any space. They continued playing from that first defensive round. They played very well. They traded out those picks, even though they were down 4-2 at one point. They go for one trade, and then they take the one on the other, and now it's just a 2-2, and still they have no firepower. They have no spearhead. What are they gonna do? And then it comes down to a 1v1, and you just win the one, and it's your round, and now it's all tied up.
Oh man, so many different things. So many different things have happened tonight. I mean, from ZoKORP dominating on NuTorious's home turf, to then NuTorious dominating on ZoKORP's home turf, to Good saying something illegal to a minor. I mean, we've had so many different things happen tonight, and I am absolutely loving each and every second of it. Finally, both players who were sitting on a fat donut. Oh my god. Rennie! Get out of my ears! It's like the monkeys in the walls. I'm going crazy. Both players who had donuts, which what I was going to say 5 seconds ago, they finally woken up here. I mean, Ashes, can't say he's been helping out too much. He still has the assists, but has been dying a lot more than Spicy. Spicy has 5 assists to back him up. He's been consistently on the shields and the utility. He's been human sacrificed and baited out almost every single round, so he gets the benefit of the doubt. But NuTorious, everybody needs to be able to contribute the same amount if you want to be able to take your opponent's turf here and not force a map 3.
I think the biggest thing I'm looking at right here is they got good off the shields, because, you know, getting first picked on a shield, that's like kind of detrimental to your round. But I'm curious to see what ZoKORP's plan is here. They kind of just gave up all the space downstairs. So like, how are they gonna control here?
I mean, I feel like as long as they don't lose the spearhead or their shield off first, they should be okay. Because we saw how they played when they lost that Black Creed. It was scared, just isolated, and it felt like we were watching 4 individual players instead of just one team trying to dissect this site. But as of now, I mean, it's all quiet. They're just getting the breaches open, they're droning out, and they're clearing out the utility, which is beautiful. But right now, it solely relies on Yaba's ability to walk up here and the intel of him providing to whoever resides outside of garage. The biggest problem might be the person who sits in oil ridge. Good, we'll take care of Arizona, but Spicy gets a quick refrag onto Jero, and Goodnight will save Yaba by shooting at C4 out the sky. Now, Jogar finally sees the back end of the man who's camping out behind the B. Chassis and Genesis actually wins that gunfight. Osa was watching the cross, but allows Barry to walk up since that extinguisher was popped at that last second, leaving a one-man advantage in the favor of ZoKORP. The case left loose, and the overall pressure starting to build up on these attackers.
Yeah, and it's looking bad for NuTorious. They've lost these last 2 rounds, and they just haven't been able to figure it out. It's like what you said. It's like 5 individual players playing the game, and none of them are working together. You saw a little bit of team play with the Monty and I think it was Buck, but like other than that, it's like, what are they really doing together? Good pick.
Beautiful from Ashes. He went to go retrieve the case and was given a kill in good virtue. Yaba knows he needs to get his hands dirty, but maybe not in that fashion when no one's watching your cross. Daggers gets the easy kill onto Ashes as Ashes wastes off his clip into a dead body. And now it's ZoKORP to break the deadlock and come from behind and go up around.
Yeah, and I hate to say like so many things in a row, like the same thing, but again, it's those individual hero ball type plays. Like, we're playing hero ball, we're not playing basketball. And you see the Monty dropping his shield, taking a 2v1 while your player isn't even ready to hold your cross. It's like, even when the round is already looking rough, just doing more or less just not smart things, it just doesn't help your case. It won't make the game any easier for you. It won't make you win rounds. And ZoKORP is playing the exact opposite. They're playing the trades. If they die, they're ready there for the refrag. They're ready there for getting those picks back. But yeah, it's looking crazy for NuTorious. Honestly, I'm scared for NuTorious at this point.
Basement is the round where ZoKORP gets to either push for match points or allow NuTorious to get their heads back in that game. I mean, we saw that timeout. We thought it did absolutely nothing, but it looks like kind of had like a lasting effect, and it just came back a little too late. I mean, we were seeing beautiful teamwork for NuTorious, but ZoKORP, when you allow them to get heated up, it's a big issue. And ZoKORP, it looks like they don't have any issues right now, just bringing it back and showing NuTorious that they're not going to lay down easy and force that 3rd map here. I mean, again, there's just so many things going wrong here with the NuTorious attack, and I feel like it was warranted knowing that that 4-2 split was that pathway to start approaching those mistakes.
Yep. I will say one thing I do like about NuTorious is that they're still in the all chat banter, and they don't care.
I love the all chat banter. I love it, man.
Yeah.
It never gets old. I mean, last game was borderline, felonies with words, but I'm happy to see it's kind of eased up here.
Yeah, I mean, as a former all chat warrior, I love seeing all chat warriors. I love seeing people who talk a lot. Keeps people human in the game instead of making us like robots that just do top-down clears and whatever.
Hey, man. Speak for yourself. You were always a bot.
Anyways.
Scopos.
I was about to say, I tuned into some of your streams where you were playing Siege.
Hey, buddy. I'm a console player. I'm also a 13 times champ. But again, champ on console means absolutely nothing. My cousin could do that. He's 8 years old. Genesis on the roam here. We've been seeing a lot of smoke roam, and a lot of it actually working out for the better. The first round, it was good with Yaba, and it was hilarious to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I mean, it's about that sacrifice of utility, because if this smoke falls, who's to use those toxic babes on site? Who's to help out with that denial? And with Jogarku taking care of Arizona, it continues to push that narrative that these defenders need to be more careful with their utility, because once you get fragged out here by NuTorious, there's no coming back. Once their mind is set to how they want to play this, you are not coming back from it. Good. If boots on the ground through Moto, walks into the main hallway and takes care of that F-Not to allow anybody to funnel down from those main stairs. But Genesis beats him to the punch and waits for that Selma to go off before he capitalizes and takes care of it.
Yeah. Although that was kind of like that was a bad pick. They get the pick back. That's good, but honestly, like NuTorious is looking a little different here. They're looking like they're putting up an actual take. Never mind.
Oh my god, never mind! A double from Daggers just completely dissects the Moto drop, but Yaba gets it back in blood, putting it back up at level here. Spicy gets caught off guard by the drop from the hatch, but he's unaware that Barry resides close in dirt, and ZoKORP, what a round that is! The deadlock will not be reinstated as we're going to match point. ZoKORP, once they're warmed up, there's no coming back.
And it was looking really good for NuTorious. They looked like they had the takes, they had the crosses, they had the ace sitting bottom main. They pushed somebody in Moto. They had all these crosses set up. They had the take to the T perfectly, and then they just throw away their lives. They kind of just like they walk into spaces that they don't know where clear, or they know that somebody's gonna be contesting them, and it's like kind of like, what are you doing? Like, you know, you have everything set up for you, and then you kind of just throw it away just for fun, I guess.
I think that Selma breach also played a large portion of the deaths there. I mean,
Yeah.
that buck, if that Selma was placed on the left of the wall, of that triple wall, and placed in, the buck just sought refuge in the very corner of that triple, he could have just sat there for a second, shot that F-Not, and stayed parked out until somebody made the mistake of swinging through Moto or deep Arsenal. But instead, he was caught prone, shot in the back, and double-teamed, and that just opened up NuTorious's side for the hatch drops and just allowed ZoKORP to pick them off one by one.
Yeah. The main thing I see wrong with that round is kind of like not clearing your angles. Like you knew about the smoke sitting in the right corner, I believe. You get the refrag on him. That was perfect. But you don't drone out the left. I don't know if they knew he was there. I don't know if they didn't know he was there. But they didn't know he was there, and they kind of let him just ruin the round. He swung the guy Moto. The guy Moto dropped, died instantly, and then the other guy bottom main, I think it was the Ace. The Ace swung for the refrag, and it's just like, now it's a 2v4. Now you just lose.
Quick rush from Jogarku completely forces Arizona off of that aggression. Too many people to deal with, too many players to get aggressive on, but it looks like Arizona's beat them to the punch. An easy rotation into stock, and a suppressor on his primary allows him to shoot down that door without being heard. Jogarku, in the meantime, will take care of Genesis, and they find themselves with that one-man advantage, but we know so far for NuTorious, it has never worked out when they get that first body. They get picked off first, or they get the first pick, and then they crumble once they start to overheat. It's a very similar playstyle to F5. Once they get that first pick, they overheat, they get too aggressive, and they fall one by one. All they need to do is just keep their foot on the gas, drone out, and play with the time. I'm not telling them not to get aggressive, but I'm just saying bide your time and play it slow.
Yeah. And honestly, NuTorious is doing a good job here, though. Getting their picks, not playing too aggressive like they have been, not overheating. But I really hope it stays that way. I'm really hoping it stays this way.
Arizona, though, the man on Frost is absolutely unstoppable. He gets 1 and 2 with the pressure on highway, and the man approaching in from the condor. He's looking for his third, but Jero might be able to catch him on his back heel, especially with that reload animation locking him in. But Arizona actually wins it. Almost finds the fourth, but shut up by Ashes. Instant refrag as Spicy takes care of him, leaving us in a 1v1 situation. Spicy from 0 to 6th. Can't find the 7th as ZoKORP delays the end of Clubhouse, meaning similar to last game, there's going to be one round that stops us between overtime and end of game in regulation.
And good. I don't even want to say good round in NuTorious, but you know, they won the round. That's fair. Arizona went nuclear that round. He almost won this map for them, but like NuTorious still did a really good job with getting those opening picks, not overheating until the end there. But even then, their crosses were good. They just kind of played it off-timed. They could have. But ZoKORP definitely could have like taken that round, just ended the game, ended the map, and went to map 3. But you know, I think it was good. Good had other plans. Was it good or was it Ashes?
I think it was good.
Okay.
I mean, Ashes. Wow. There's so many things that just happened that round, but you saw how they almost overheated. You just see glimpses of the past round where they overheat and they get picked apart. But this is very similar to the last game where we saw 4-6 in the favor of ZoKORP and NuTorious came back to win it in overtime. If that happens again, this is a script and Phoenix is the one who wrote it.
Yep. I don't even know who Phoenix is, but Phoenix.
He's the head admin for this league. Oh, you're going to violate him. Yeah, thank God you got stopped. Yep.
Please don't die first.
Oh God, he's done it twice now. And it looks like Frost is trying to catch a limb to shoot, but it's just ring around the rosy here. Yaba is just dancing, and he sets his teammate up for a perfect kill. Arizona, you might have gotten 4 last round, but it just won't work out for you on the current. 40 seconds in, but this time we can proudly say that NuTorious is the first one to get the kill. They look to continue and run down this clock with the bodies dropping in their laps. ZoKORP has been a risk taker for NuTorious, but that hasn't necessarily been a good thing as he has 10 kills, but he also has 10 deaths, meaning you die too much, simply, almost every round now. But has the ability to get those kills when needed. Almost a perfect ratio, and is now applying that pressure from Highway, looking to better that ratio. Spicy sits close on construction door, but demotivated by that castle barricade, going poof by that soft breach. Ashes falls close to Genesis, and now it's Goodnight looking to substitute in for his place, but he has to either choose in between doing that or retrieving that case, as 3 players are knocking on the doorstep of construction. 2 of them make it through. Jero's left behind, and it is Yaba Daba Do, who knows exactly where Dagger's in, delivers 1 and 2! A massive double kill here, as they've completely dissected the pressure from logistics with under 90 seconds left, but still plenty of time to be able to reset, get that case in, and keep their foot on the gas. Yaba almost looking for his 4th kill of the round as he continues to keep his foot on the go. He will continue to be that force that is unstoppable. ZoKORP cannot hold him as he has cleared logistics all by his lonesome. The kid is retrieved by Good, and it's Barry left by himself and Jim. As this clock continues to run down, he's going to be the one that decides if he wins the 1vx and sends us to the 3rd map, or is going to send us to overtime. It'll be the former. NuTorious have managed to do it again, but can they put that final nail in the coffin?
That was a really, see, that's what I like about this game and the players that play this game, especially Yaba. He found, like, they kept sitting that Valk in that corner every single round. They got messed up by it 3-4 times, or 2 or 3 times, sorry. And finally, they check the corner, they kill the guy, and then they expect the second because they know that their teammate just died from that guy in Logi. They expect the second, they get the second. And now it's just a 4v1, and then the whole round's over. And I like how they didn't overheat, like you were saying, they didn't overheat. They had one sitting highway the entire round. The patience is what got ZoKORP that kill at the end.
Wow. I mean, the script is literally replaying itself. If NuTorious manages to pull out ahead. I'm done. It's scripted. It's rigged. And the finals will end up with NuTorious winning 3-1. I'm telling you right now. Mark my words. Mark it in your calendars. When I do the finals, it'll be NuTorious to win if they make it to this point. But I mean, we were talking about that trade level for Jogarku, and he went from being 10-10 to 11-10, and grabbing an assist in the meantime. He's taken his sweet old time to be able to find each and every kill. And sometimes, I mean, I feel like the main lesson of that round was to show that you don't need so many kills to show us that you are an integral part of your team. You can just sit in a corner and wait for a bandit to swing you to close out the round that sends you to overtime.
And I think genuinely just that patience is just is what won them that round, because I've seen this too many times with ZoKORP and NuTorious, is that your teammates swing, you have no intel. They took their time, they droned out the person, and they just had one sitting there. Daggers gets the first pick. Oh, off the ramp too. That's a big pick for them.
Dagger delivers that dagger to the heart of Ashes and the core player of NuTorious. Ashes hasn't been able to find joy, but has been playing those operators that are very needed in the attacks for Clubhouse. 4-on-5 as it stands, and Daggers is right back to sight. Well, he knows the Wiser in a full bunker down strategy looks to be in line here for ZoKORP.
Yeah, and it's not entirely over. They still have the buck for the vert too, on the side of NuTorious, but they need to do a good job of clearing this utility, setting up for that execute. That Ying is going to be very important for their execute. They got the hatches open. They should be good from here. They just need to. They didn't get the hatches open. I'm sorry, I lied. But they need to set up this execute. Yeah.
I mean,
set
only
up
one
something
C4.
here.
Yeah, they only have one C4 to worry about, which is better in most cases, considering you only have one soft breacher. And to make matters better for NuTorious, the Hawaiian launchers will be sent in through Blue, and Jero in the meantime will take care of Barry. The biggest problem is the case is left loose, but now that is just a pass as it will be retrieved. Good gets finished off by Daggers here as he finds the second of the round, and it looks like it'll just be all systems go here for NuTorious, and they fully send it, but impacted by the Banshees, the Fna, and the Toxic Babes. He only managed to take 5 ticks of damage. And Yaba is the one that wedges himself in between Blue, but Daggers has a different idea as he gets his third of the round. It looks like he doesn't have any intention of stopping anytime soon here, as NuTorious are pushed back to the hallway here, and they have to change the site push. Now, Kendall is being sent loose to smoke, covers their ability and their tracks to be able to go into Arsenal and try to get the plant. Everybody's parked out in Arsenal, and Genesis takes the place of the former attackers. They were once there. Jero taking heavy damage, finally finished off by a headshot, and it's an ace by Daggers! The dagger to the heart of NuTorious! Your comeback is stopped by a man on Scopos!
From start to finish, that was just like, I'm not even gonna lie, that was just a great round by the Scopos. He did a great job. First pick on the ramp. That shuts down a lot of the time that they need. You saw them, they're executing with 20, 30, 40 seconds left. That is still a stressful situation for the attack. And then you see the first pick, it slowed them down. Second pick came from a late flank or trying to catch opponents off guard, and then it's just bang, bang, bang from there with the execute. And it was just a very well played round. I think it was the Smoke or somebody who also entered in with Scopos to help him take those fights, and he did a great job as well, helping him get those picks.
Well, that might be the best round of the series so far. We've seen some good executes, but an ace from Daggers. I mean, the way he played it start to finish, he knew when to stop, he knew when to swing. He did everything perfectly, and that might be the round that's decided the third map. But it's all reliant on this moment right here, right now, and how ZoKORP plays on the attack. Right. Something about overtime, especially when you don't have it in infinite, is it'll continue to throw curves at you when you switch continuously between sides. You have to be able to rise to that occasion. And if NuTorious can't get first blood, I think we go to the third.
Right. I think especially since how good ZoKORP's, even though they didn't have a good attacking split, if if NuTorious can get this first pick, I think it's over. Or it's gonna go in NuTorious's way. Because they have done ZoKORP has done a really good job getting those first picks on attack. They just can't put it together. But I really do like this picks on ZoKORP's side with the Capitao, the Ying, and the Grim. They're looking to take that space, take that pick, and then execute the site. It could, with the Monty too, just to spearhead you into site, it's gonna help them a lot if they can get the space that they need, which it looks like NuTorious has given it up.
NuTorious looking for that bunker down strategy. For most teams, it usually works, but for them, it usually actually plays against them. Once they're packed into a site like Sardines, they panic, they swing, and they lose their life very fast. And with more than 90 seconds left on the clock, it gives ZoKORP a plenty amount of time to just reset, relax, and talk about what they can do, how they want to do it, and where they want to execute. And from here, it'll just be NuTorious to either fight their ways out or try to get that first pick on the board.
You see the Valk setting up the C4, misses a C4. Honestly, that's good for ZoKORP too. They just baited out a free C4.
And the Volcan canister as well, it popped it.
Yep. So, but ZoKORP's doing a really good job, like clearing this util, taking their time, setting up this execute that they want to. I don't think he sees him, no.
Saw his feet for a second. Good night is gonna prove to be that person who comes back to haunt you for not finding him the first time. He'll take care of daggers. The heroics from him last round are not going to be seen in the current, as now there's below a minute left, and it's just NuTorious and Flame Nation as they'll find the first, the second, discouraging the rushes from the blue side as it's only the Monty left to allow in an advance. Arizona goes down and finished off. Genesis forced to walk through the smoke where he loses more than 50% of his health. Spicy still by his lonesome. The Banshee is finally shot, but still a full-powered NuTorious is going to be a problem. Spicy falls, and Good finds the next as we go to max overtime yet again.
This game just gets crazier and crazier. We go from an ace one round where NuTorious is just getting straight dominated to ZoKORP getting flawless, and just mistake after mistake. You don't have the hatch open. You're trying to walk one dirt. You're trying to walk one blue. You're getting smoked off, goiled off, and we're just trying to keep pushing forward, losing first picks, losing second pick, and then it just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling until round's over. You just got flawless.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
That snowball effect is one of the most deadly in Siege. I feel like the teams that get affected by it are going to pay a significant price. But, I mean, between two games, we have seen 30 rounds. I think that might be my first. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I've had a single BO3 go to double max overtime. Can you imagine if this was infinite? God, we'd be here until tomorrow.
Ooh, I've played some infinite OT games. Those were not fun. I can't lie.
Let me guess. TPL XGS.
10 seconds
No.
to insertion.
Really?
We didn't qual for that. No, it was Columbus Land against GCU.
Oh, it was the Columbus line. I remember that.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb.
I remember casting at 9 a.m. in the morning. One of my games went infinite OT, and I think I went from 9 a.m. EST to 4 p.m. 5?
Yeah.
5 p.m. I don't think I had a voice for the next 2 days.
Ugh.
And
Those are-
TPL, yeah, I know. Those are some crazy days. I can only imagine how mental chalking that is for the players, let alone anybody else. Ooh, Yaba might have a kill for him.
Hold on.
Wow, I just reminisced back to the finale days where Chaka and I casted the grand finals for like I think a total of like nearly 100 rounds across 4 maps.
Right.
Rennie, you don't gotta flex, okay? I think that was the best cast of my career so far. Good, advancing on through Raptors. Has to keep his head on a swivel because if you turn your sight away from this Monty, he will knock you down and make you pay the price. But Barry hits a critical shot onto Jero, meaning somebody needs to take his place. And it looks like it's going to be Ashes for now. Monty unextends and sets up Yaba perfectly. I mean, Good is pivotal. No matter the role he's on, he is always an influential role to his team. He's now gifted them that man advantage. No C4s from below, all hands on deck on site, and it's a 3-man count, full strength for ZoKORP. Everyone's at 100 HP. They have the C4s and the smoke grenades, but what are you going to be able to do with the full force of the attackers and the others looking for that gap to hit? Jogarku is watching from outside. Ashes is watching anybody who tries to go for that vertical aspect, and Yaba is more hands dirty as he is going to be helping out with that plant. Genesis is the first to fall. That Toxic Babe goes out, but it doesn't connect. C4. This is absolutely pivotal for NuTorious to shut out here because you have everything going in your favor. These smoke canisters are getting burnt through like candy as he isn't accounting for the time. He's accounting for the stress and the pressure that it goes down onto the Monty. Below a minute left. The defender is trying to inch up slowly to try to deny this plant. The C4 has been used. The last Toxic Babe is going to be deployed. It doesn't hit good. He's going to stick it. We're in a post-plant situation of 4v2, and you're going to have to account for that counter defuse time as well. Daggers falls, and it's just left up to Spicy. Oh, your team had it in the back to force the third map, but it's good to say good night and crown NuTorious as your first finalists of NEUROSTRIKE Season 2.
And Goodnight says the Kings don't lose those. Good with that amazing shot. He baited out the smokes perfectly. The Valkyrie with the misplay on that last round. Oh my god, throwing her C4 early. Honestly, like I've been making fun of NuTorious and their team play all game, and that was just like lights out teamwork that whole round.
I told you, man, they bring it back. This is a crazy graphic, by the way. 8-7 twice in a row might be the craziest thing I've seen in a while. But what a game by NuTorious. I mean, I think they do it on purpose. They make us think that they have absolutely nothing for us, no substance, no cohesiveness, and they'll just bring it back in the later stages of the game. What a map that was, Highest. What did we just witness for the finalists? I feel like they're going to win now. I mean, it's unstoppable. On the other side...
I mean, the script.
That's a script, man. It's enforced. It's enforced. I mean, taking a look at the other side... feed the children for years on end. But as it does approach the end of the night, Highest, do you have anything to say?
Honestly, not really, but it was a really good game from NuTorious. I like how they come back, but you know, all GG's to ZoKORP. They put up a really good fight. I can't even lie.
They really did. As a team that I haven't had too much experience personally casting, they definitely they took my expectations from here to here. It was beautiful from them. But on our end, guys, this wraps up the night as it is NuTorious to join themselves as the first people in the finals. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. I have been your caster alongside with my friend Highest. It's his first time, so everybody, round of applause for him in the chat. The absolute GOAT. He did absolutely amazing. That's all I want to hear today. On the observing side of things, we had Rennie. Thank you very much, Rennie, even if you are very, very drunk and still watching Element. to our to our other caster who has had to leave us for work, we have Kylo, the absolute GOAT. None of this would have happened without these three people. I hold you guys very close to my heart. Thank you so much for helping me out tonight. For you guys, leave a follow if you did enjoy. Sub if you're being naughty. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys for either the semifinals or for the grand final. Peace.